Hey guys, welcome to this week's edition of Human Training for Dogs, where we don't just teach dogs to behave, we teach humans how to live a better life. I'm Leon, I'm the founder of Back to Basics Dog Training, and over 35 years of training and working with dogs and their people, I've learned this. When you change your energy, your dogs change, your life changes. So let's go into this next episode. But before we get going in episode 5, I want to give you a little background into myself. When I started training full time for a living, this is what I do, guys, 13 years ago. My journey started. And it's what I call it. I call it a journey I've gone on for the last 13 years. And it's been the best ride of my life. There's been some real good smooth sailing going along, but there's been a lot of uphill and downhill battles through these 13 years. That's why I call it a journey. But I really got into it because I wanted to help dogs. I got tired, like most of you on Facebook, hearing about dogs looking to be rehomed because of certain behaviors, uh, dogs being returned to shelters, dogs being euthanized, whatever it may be. So my intent was to rescue and save as many dogs as humanly possible through my training methodology, and that's why I got into this. But I realized so soon into this journey that my methodologies of training is so much more than just training dogs. I've helped transform people's lives through their dogs. A gentleman I know who happens to be a pastor said to me, you know, dogs were put on in front of me to help people, to help families. And I never realized, or didn't realize for long time, why and what he meant. Until my customers started giving me a lot of feedback saying, thank you for the therapy session. Getting calls years after I started saying, you know what, I used that methodology that you taught me for Fido on my kids and it works. I had one lady recently, not too long ago, who turned around and gave me a big hug at the end of my session and said, thank you. For 20 years, I've been going to therapy, and in 2 hours, I had the best therapy I've ever had in my life. And so the goal is still the same. I want to help dogs. I want to rescue dogs. I want dogs to thrive. I don't want dogs being returned. I don't want dogs being rehomed. But it became so much bigger than what I ever envisioned. And it's a huge compliment. When I get those things saying, you're not a dog trainer, you're a life coach. The reason I named my podcast Human Training for Dogs, because the dogs really don't need it. It's the humans that I need to help guide on this journey. Not too long ago, I was at a business networking meeting and I was, it was my turn to speak. So I introduced myself. Hi, I'm Leon. I'm the head tour guide at Back to Basics Dog Training. Everybody looked at me like I was out of my mind. But that's what I feel like. I'm guiding people on this journey. And what the journey is how we, by simple changes, learning how to live a calm, confident lifestyle, learning how to live in the moment, not live in the past, not focus so much on the future, our lives become better. And the dogs taught me this, guys. I always say, the dogs are my best teachers. So that's how this journey got started for me. Doing what every dog trainer starts off as. I'm going to train dogs. And I quickly learned I don't train dogs, I train humans. And here's what I'm going to tell you. And guys, mark your calendars for the 3 weeks after this, the next week, the week after that, and the week after that. Because in episode 6, 7, and 8, I will be getting deeply, deeply personal with you guys. I'm going to share parts of my personal life. I will explain how my methodologies in dog training, what the dogs taught me, helped my family, myself through some real dark, difficult times. But for now, let's move on. So welcome to episode 5 of Human Training for Dogs, where you're not failing. You're just speaking the wrong language. In this episode, I'm going to go over a bunch of stuff that's going to help you. But basically, it's your permission script to stop beating yourself up. If your dog doesn't listen, it's not about a failure, it's miscommunication. Communication mismatches happen all the time in every relationship, be it between parents or your partner, between your kids and you, between you and your friends, and yes, even between us and our dogs. So, guys, this is going to be a real deep issue getting into the next phase, which is again how I incorporate this into my everyday life and how you can incorporate this into your everyday life. I'm so excited about these upcoming episodes, I can't tell you. So in this episode, I'm going to explain to you how dogs actually understand the directions that we're asking them to follow, and how and why your calm energy, your body language, and timing matters more than the words or the volume of the commands. So, how does your dog process leadership? It's simple, guys. Calm confidence. Calm confidence is not a words, it's not a volume of speaking. It's about your energy and your body language. In our last episode, I talked about Duke. I love Duke to death. Um, Duke understood the less I said, the more I said. Somewhere along the line, somebody said silence is golden. And when we're dealing with Mother Nature, silence is golden. Um, I can get so much more accomplished by keeping it simple. I do use the KISS theory of training, keep it simple, stupid, because we tend to complicate things. So if we can remember this and just really tap into something everybody has. Guys, I'm not special, but you can ask anybody who has a dog, that not even that I train, just people who walk around my complex, that I just give them some advice on their dogs. It doesn't matter to me. Um, that their dogs instantly respond to me. I go into homes all the time, and I bet you some of my listeners can attest to this. And if they can, please put it in the comments, guys. I want comments on these videos. Um, that I walk into their house and their dog instantly changes. The dog that normally would jump all over their guests, bark for 15, 20, 30 minutes after the guests arrive, barking, barking, barking. Oh my God, pay attention to me, pay attention to me. Don't do it to me. Why? Because the moment I walk into the house and I see that overexcited state of mind, I don't acknowledge it. I don't put my hand out for them to smell me. I don't pet them. I demand my personal space. So if they try to jump on me, I may do it, hey, don't touch me, almost, like I'm biting them in the chest or whatever. Stay out of my personal space. And once I do it, they're like, oh, okay. And they just sit down, and then they wait for me to give them their affection. And people are amazed how quickly that transformation can happen. And it's not magic. I always joke with people, I always wear short sleeve shirts. There's nothing up my sleeve. But what I have an advantage over at that point, the dog, their loving family, is my energy is spot on the moment I walk into that home. I purposely get everywhere I'm going, especially on my training sessions, to the neighborhood where the people live at least a half hour early. Why? I sit in my car down the block and I just take that half hour just to relax. Why? So when I walk into your home, same way I'm coming into your home through this camera right now, I'm in the calmest state of mind I can possibly be in. Now, if anybody's watched the episodes, I'm not very good at speaking. I'm not good at a lot of things, but I am good at tuning into my energy and feeling my energy, knowing that I'm in a calm state of mind, because the moment I walk in the house, I want to see that start of that journey, that transformation instantly. And I want you, my customers, my fellow dog lovers, to start seeing that transformation in their dog that quick, because it can happen that quick once we all get on the same page. So how do dogs process my leadership? I walk into their home, I am calm, confident, I have a pack leader mentality, And this is what, and I expect them to behave a certain way. I don't expect the dogs to jump on me. I don't expect the dogs to try to nip me because they're overly excited. I don't expect dogs to be afraid of me or unsure of me. I expect dogs to say, hey, this guy knows what we're talking about. And since he understands it, he's more that dog mentality. I know that this energy that I'm putting out right now is not what he wants because I can feel his energy. And energy speaks volumes. Guys, I can't stress it enough. You can yell your commands all day long. They don't hear you. But your energy speaks volumes. And I can't stress that enough. So how do they process that leadership? They just get it. As long as you believe in what I'm saying, be in that calm, confident energy, calm, confident body language, and just go. Move. Everything has to be done with an intent. I mentioned that in one of our episodes when I was talking about mastering the walk. I think it was episode 3. And I said, when I walk with the dog, I walk with intent. I don't walk with what's around the corner. A dog may be around the corner and you may react. There may be a person. I walk with intent. And my intent is I'm getting from point A to point B. And we're going to do it, and we're going to do it successfully. And they're going to pick up that vibe. When I talk about energy, that's what it is. It's a vibe. They're going to pick it up without me saying anything. I'm not going to sit there and say, hey, guy, we're going from point A to point B. We're leaving this house, and we're going down the block. We're going to get to the stop sign. We're going to do that. No, I just do it. And if I run into something, I deal with it. If I run into a dog on a leash, off a leash, a human, a butterfly, whatever, I deal with it in the moment. But I never try to think about that for the future because I can't predict the future. And my mindset is, especially when I'm working with your dogs, is you can tell me all the stories you want. You can tell me, well, they see another dog and this is what they do. They do this, they do this, they see this house, they don't want to go past it. Whatever it may be, I don't care because that was yesterday. And since I know I can't fix yesterday, why am I living in yesterday? And that's what I talk about. How do dogs perceive leadership? A leader's in the moment with them right then and there, every single time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We, as humans, need to learn to live in a moment. Our dogs already know how to do it. So, dogs perceive it. Your energy is good. Your body language is good. Your intent is great. You're not living in the past. You're not worrying about the future at that moment. You're in the moment. That's how they process leadership, guys. It's that simple, but that difficult because we have a hard time. And you hear me talk about energy all the time. And I'm going to put the challenge out to you guys. And I'm not even going to relate it to dogs. I'm going to relate it to relationships. Anybody who's, has a family member, friends, significant other, whatever. When that other person, coworker even, is in a bad mood or they're upset, something bad happened to them, whatever it may be, without them saying a word, how many times can you tune into it? And that's how how energy speaks. I always use a story of when, unfortunately, my dad got sick and I got a phone call from my sister saying that dad was being moved to hospice. When I took the phone call, I was in my garage away from my wife and my kids because I knew dad was going through some stuff. I wanted some time. I didn't want to upset my wife and my kids. I did have my dogs, my 2 dogs, and I think I had 3 or 4 other dogs in the house at the time that we were babysitting for. And when I got done with the phone call, of course, naturally, I just heard my dad's being moved to hospice. I'm not happy. I'm upset. It's heartbreaking. I came in, my wife and kids were upstairs. I go sit down in my lazy boy, and every dog in the house, without me uttering a word, came over to me like, are you okay? And I actually started tearing up at that point because these beautiful creatures realized, no, I'm not okay right now. But they knew it and they wanted to help me. Why? I didn't say anything. I didn't turn around and say, Zoe, Grandpa's going to hospice. No. What I did is I felt that my energy became very soft. I was reflecting on a lot of things, whatever was going through emotionally, I was going through. The dogs, and not only my two, my guest dogs, the dogs I was babysitting for, picked up on it. And they all came over to me to comfort me. That's how loud your energy speaks. So when you're calm, confident, they're going to hear it in volumes. When you're angry and frustrated, they're going to hear it in volumes too. And that's why that trademark saying, no anger, no frustration, no nonsense, comes into effect. Anger clouds us, frustration clouds us. No nonsense is sit and mean it. Also, part of using energy is learning how to use your body language. I make a running joke with my customers. I'm a pretty tall guy. I'm 6'5". But when I'm working with your dogs or my dog or whatever, and especially when I'm disciplining, I make my 6'5" frame 7 foot tall. Now, I can't physically do that. Can't, impossible. But I can project that through my body language and energy. And if you notice, every time I'm trying to put a point on something, I kind of do that. I use my hands a lot. I always do the I love you sign. I use my body language to speak to the dogs. And how I know a combination of body language and energy works so well, I have trained deaf dogs, guys, and they get it. Deaf dog is no different than any other dog. They get excited, they get insecure, they get the same things that every other dog gets. But I can control it, and I can't speak to them because they can't hear me. I still do talk to them because we need to, but they get it. Now, difference is, deaf dog, to do a sit, I kind of have to give hand signals for. To do a down, I have to give hand signals for. But they can understand that if they're excited, I don't agree with it, they can read my energy on it because I'm disappointed. If they're unsure of something, of thunder or fireworks, like we spoke about in the last episode, if I stay calm, they're going to pick that up and say, oh, you're calm, I should be calm. Without talking, without saying anything to them. Because I can yell at a deaf dog all day long. They're not going to get it. They're not going to hear me. But if I'm yelling, which means I'm angry, they're going to feel it and not going to do what I want them to do. So, again, you can make that change. That's what I'm talking about, communicating with your dogs. It's not about the volume. It's not about the words. Your body language and energy speaks volumes. And like I said, some of the biggest compliments I get is that people have realized that it works on their dogs, but it works on the people surrounding them. It works on their children, it works on their significant other, it works on their coworkers, it works on their friend. And not that I'm trying to control my wife, my kids, my friends, my coworkers. I'm not trying to control them. But they sense, because of my body language and my energy, they get that sense that, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. He's somebody worth following, whatever it may be. If there's a crisis, I'm calm. Like I said, episodes 6, 7, and 8, guys, I'm going to get into a lot of how everything we spoke about in these first 5 episodes tied into helping me and my family getting through some real dark times. This is going to get real personal. I may actually tear up. I don't even know yet. When I record it, I'll figure it out. But it works. So your homework this week is think about how your dog perceives what you're saying without saying anything. When your dog makes a mistake, instead of getting angry and yelling, change that energy to disappointment. Take that anger and make it into disappointment. They will feel it and they'll understand it quick. When they're doing good, change your energy to happy. Don't say anything. And you will see their tail wagging. It just reminded me of something that a guy said to me. He was teaching his dog not to chew a plant because he didn't want him chewing the plant. And he turned around and, was doing the leave it command. And finally, he turned around one day, dog went for the plant, and he goes, make better decisions. And the dog stopped. And he's like, oh, look at that. He understood a whole sentence. No, what he understood is the energy behind it make better decisions. So I challenged him to do exactly that. I said, next time the dog goes near the plane, because it will, it's a puppy, and say the words to yourself, but use the same energy. Snap your fingers to get the dog's attention, because the word got the attention. But I said, just snap your fingers, say the words to yourself, but use that energy that you just used. And he says, all right, challenge accepted. And I got a phone call a couple of hours later, and I was told he hates me because it worked. He was like, I thought he understood the sentence, he understood the energy. That's how it works, guys. So use things to get their attention. Now, I said I train deaf dogs. Of course, it's hard. I can't snap my fingers to get their attention. At that point, we use different tools, a vibration collar, so they know that vibration means, hey, find me, look for me. And it's a process we teach them. But once I get them looking at me, making that eye contact, looking for direction, the rest is all about body language and energy. And that's how our dogs understand us. Nothing else in the world. It's not about the treats. It's not about the leash at this point. It's not about any of the tools of the industry. You want to communicate to your dogs. You want to show your dogs you're a proper leader. Be calm, be confident, be consistent. You'll have the control you want. Get rid of the anger. Get rid of the frustration. Turn that anger and frustration when you're upset with them and you're frustrated with what's going on to disappointment instead of anger and frustration. They will understand you so much better, so much quicker. You'll be like, this is an amazing transformation. And that's what it's about. And that's why I call what I do, it's not about dog training, it's not about human training. I'm guiding you on a journey to help you and your dog, but to help you in your life. So again, the next episode, guys, is going to be very personal. The next 3 episodes. So mark your calendars for next Monday, the Monday after, and the Monday after that. I'm going to release these episodes. And again, please, if you're watching any of my videos, put comments down. Let me know what you think. What do you want me to do better? Maybe you need me to clarify. Maybe you want to join me. If you're one of my old customers, if you're in the mental health world, if you're in the physical health world, if you just, understand what I'm talking about and you want to join me, we can figure out a way to do an interview type of thing. I welcome guests. I welcome other point of views. The line of communication needs to be there. So if you're interested in joining me on one of my podcasts and my future podcasts, shoot me a call, shoot me a text, email me, comment on one of these posts. Just make sure I can get a way to respond to you on it. But you can always text me at 803-415-6970 if you want to be a guest on my podcast. I welcome all guests. But in the meantime, we're going to wrap it up for this episode. Remember, mark your calendars for the next 3 episodes, guys, because these are going to be real as I can get. I pride myself on being transparent with you, and I'm going to continue to be that way because it is truly, truly an honor to be able to bring you on this journey with me. So thank you for listening to Human Training for Dogs, where transformation starts with you. If today's episode did hit home with you, reach out to me. Share it with your friends, family, coworkers, loved ones, whoever may need some of this advice. And if you are truly ready to turn the chaos into calm, one leash, one day at a time, and need me to help guide you, reach out to me, 803-415-6970 for your free 15-minute phone evaluation. And remember, until next time, stay calm, stay consistent, and remember, no anger, no frustration, no nonsense, and help me live my dream that together we can help one dog and one family at a time.